Hello everyone, my name is Mustafa Rifat. I am a fourth year PhD student at the Department of Industrial and Manufacturing Engineering, Penn State. And this is my submission for the Human Factors and Ergonomic Society Annual Design Contest 2020. In this presentation, I have selected a location in the University Park campus and I have selected a product that is used on that particular location. I have proposed a redesigned version of that product. And behind this redesign, I had three motives. The first one was the redesigned version should help to stop the spread of COVID from that place. The second one was the redesigned version should be user friendly. And the third one was it should help the society overall. The place that drew my attention was Patty Transit Center. This is one of the busiest and most bustling places in this campus. It is because Center Area Transportation Authority or CATA bus service, they have different types of bus services that run through the campus and run through the city, such as the loop buses like White Loop or Blue Loop, or the link buses like the Green Link or Red Link. These buses only run inside the campus. They go through this place. And there are other bus services like N, NV, K, R. Those buses go from the campus to the remote parts of the city. They also go through the place. That means people from many corners of the city, they often come at this place or they often go to their home from this place. Now let's think, I am waiting at this bus stoppage and I want to know when my bus will arrive. To do that, we have a push button here installed in this wall. If we push at this push button, there is a display here which shows the latest schedule of the buses to arrive. This is a closer look of the push button. The yellow arrow shows the exact location of the button. This is an even closer look of the push button. If we push at this button here, a signal goes to the display to show us the latest schedule of the buses to arrive. Now this push button is one of the riskiest place in this location to spread COVID. Because as I said, people from many corners of this city, they often stop here and they often push at this button to know the latest schedule of their buses to arrive. So the chance of spreading of COVID is very high at this place compared to many other places in this campus. So I started to think, how can I redesign the push button system that we have currently in Patty Transit Center? The motivation behind this redesign, I found it from the automatic hand sanitizer dispensers that are installed a lot nowadays around the campus. These dispensers use a motion sensor named passive infrared or PIR motion sensors. As the name suggests, these sensors can detect the presence or motion of anything which radiates infrared in front of them. Now we know that anything which has a temperature above absolute zero radiates infrared. Let's talk a little bit in detail on the working mechanism of these PIR motion sensors. Here we can see a PIR motion sensor with two slots denoted by slot 1 and slot 2. Let's say a body is moving towards slot 1. When it is near to slot 1, the slot 1 will suddenly detect a burst of infrared, but slot 2 cannot. That will result in an output signal. Now if the body keeps moving forward and it goes near to slot 2, what will happen is slot 2 will now detect a burst of infrared, but slot 1 cannot. Then the PIR sensor will again generate an output signal which will be in the opposite direction of the previous signal. This is how a PIR sensor can detect the presence of a hand or the wave of a hand in front of it. Having that thought in my mind, this is how I redesigned the new bus schedule checking system. This looks a lot like the automatic hand sanitizer dispenser systems with some subtle differences in it. If we look closely, we will observe that it has two openings. One of the openings will have a compartment in front above it, and that compartment will have hand sanitizers. That compartment will be transparent and people will be able to see that hand sanitizers are inside them. So if someone takes his or her hand near to this opening, hand sanitizers will dispense. However, if they take their hand beneath the other opening or wave their hand beneath the other opening, a signal will be generated and that will go to the display, and the display will show the latest schedule of the buses to arrive, such as here we can see that the V bus will take 2 minutes to arrive from now on. To redesign, I have considered several design heuristics. The three that you are seeing here, they are taken from Nielsen's usability heuristics. The first one is to match between system and real world. Now our redesigned system has resemblance with automatic hand sanitizer dispensers. So this is not something new that people have to learn how to use it. This is something they're seeing in their real day-to-day life. The second one is that people don't have to recall or remember how to use it. It is evident. So the opening that has hand sanitizer in it, above it the compartment is transparent and people can see the hand sanitizer level. So it is quite evident that the left opening is for hand sanitizers. And again, the right opening, above it check bus schedule is written. So again, this is also quite evident that if I want to check the bus schedules, I have to take my hand beneath the right opening. The third one is flexibility and efficiency of use. To maintain that, I had to create proper distance between the two openings, because if the two openings are really close, if I just want to check the latest bus schedules and don't want hand sanitizer in my hand, and I take my hand to really close two openings, uh, I will both see the signal and hand sanitizer will be on my hand. So that's why I maintained proper distance between the two openings. The next design principle that I had adopted was high readability. So all the texts that would be written in this system, they should be in large font so anyone can read them from even a distance. The last but not the least is accommodation. So I wanted to accommodate as many people as I can in my redesigned system. And how I did that would be clearer if I compare my final design with my preliminary design. So my preliminary design, it had only one opening with it. So my preliminary thinking was one opening will dispense hand sanitizer and it will also send signal to the display, but there is a catch with it. So nowadays people often carry personal hand sanitizers with them. So let's say a person who has just used hand sanitizer 1 minute ago, maybe he won't like need to again get hand sanitizer on his hand. Moreover, there can be people who are allergic to alcoholic hand sanitizers. This would be a problem for them too. That's why in my final design, I have created two openings, one for the hand sanitizer dispensation and one for the signal to display. Now, next comes about the cost. What will be the cost of this system? So the hand sanitizer dispensing systems, they cost about 40 to 45 bucks, and the PIR motion sensors, they cost around $5. So considering the installation and all, my approximated idea of cost would be around $100 for this system. Now, as the redesign is performed, we need to think, is it really helping the society? Or do we even really need to use the manual bus schedule tracking system? Because there are several apps such as My Stop app already available to download in your smartphone, and using these apps you can track the real-time bus location data. Now to answer this concern, we need to think a little bit deeply. We have several groups of people surrounding us, and we need to ask, do all age groups of people get affected similarly by COVID? We may already know the answer. The answer is no, and this chart here shows exactly the same. This chart shows the number of people who has been hospitalized or had to take admission into ICU or had to face death due to COVID in USA from February 12th to March 16th of this year. Now, if we look closely into the red dashed box, we can observe that people who are of 65 years old or more than 65 years old, this age group has higher threat of getting affected by COVID compared to the other age groups. Now there is a catch. All the apps that are currently available to track the real-time bus location data, you can use them only if you use smartphones. Now if we check the percentage of cell phone usage across different age groups in USA, what we can find in this red dash box here in this image, that people who are of 65 years old or above 65 years old, only 53% of them use smartphone. So around 50% of the people who are of 65 years old or more than 65 years old cannot use the currently available apps to track the bus location data. So if we keep using the current manual bus schedule tracking system, we are imposing more threat to the already threatened group. So this is high time to come up with a different or a redesigned version of this manual bus tracking system, what we have currently in PATI. That was all from me. Thanks for your patience.